So one of the things you do really well is film breakdown, and we got a couple of clips from the first preseason game, the Packers game, to take a look at. So walk us through this and kind of what you see with this offense.
Right. So what I wanted to point out, and I wrote a film room and did like a video on this, is the Browns implementing RPOs that matter, that have actual significance. So what you're going to see is run action up front, the backside guard pulling and selling run, and then hitting what's called a glance route right behind it. So when we run it back, you'll get a pretty good look at this. And this play was called back because the right guard or left guard, I think, was too far downfield. They'll get better at it as they do it. But what they want to do is read that backside safety. So you see the safety with the X on him right now. If he shoots to the middle of the field, you're giving that off for a run. But if he sits still and leaves that glance window open, we're going to throw that for a touchdown. So if the safety creeping down right here with the first X on him, okay, we can throw that backside glance route, right? If this safety to the field right there with the X on him right now doesn't jump over into the window, pull that thing and throw it to the inside leverage that I believe that's a Marion Brown was going to collect, right? So the concept's pretty simple, but it is a more meaningful RPO than they've ever put on the field. They did a great job here of selling run up front. Watch the way the linebackers react to the pulling guard. Watch the way the safety kind of sits still, reading run, and then that window opens up beautifully. You just have to get Zach Zenter, a guy at Michigan who didn't really do much of that, to not get too far downfield, right? You got to keep 1 yard, you have a 1 yard halo there. It's just you got to get reps at it and experience at it. If you look at from the end zone view, you can also see another really good view of that where Dorian's eyes are in the right place, and the layered up part of it, which I go into in the video. If you join our site, you can see some of this stuff, but the Browns do some little subtle things in there, including moving a Marion Brown in motion to kind of sell that he's going to maybe crack block on that safety walk down. There were a bunch of little subtleties that made that play exceptional, and that's like a big-time Sunday NFL play right there. You just got to get your left guard, to the rookie, to not get downfield, but that's exciting stuff. And like I had kind of hinted at it, this is how the offense is evolving for you, and there was one play that gave that away. In the preseason, you're keeping everything very close to the vest. You don't want to do too much, but like, hey, man, you guys kind of gave one away right there. This is where you're going to be looking to move to, and it was exciting to watch because if you watch that play, that's really executed very well. And Dorian rips a great throw into that window. And those are like how you gain chunk plays in the NFL these days.
Yeah, here's an end zone look at a play as well. This is the second clip that you're talking about.
Yeah, same one. So you'll see the safety right there. Dorian kind of moves him in motion. He moves his wide out of Marion Brown in motion, and you see him point at him. That's just a little subtle thing to make the defense think, okay, run. Everybody, look at the linebackers. Look at 44. Look at the 54 moving. Dorian's eyes are on the safety. Does he jump over? Oh, he doesn't jump over. So that's my simple read. Like, you got to watch the quarterback's helmet will always tell you what he's looking at. But this is a very cool layer of disguise. Like, hey, come in here, tighten down, point at him. That's who you're blocking. No, he's actually out on a glance route. That confuses everybody. Look at where his eyes are. Does the safety jump over? Does he sit? He sits, boom, ball out, right in a tight window. Like, that's fun football. That is the stuff you see the best offenses in the NFL executing really well. So exciting to see that stuff, and obviously exciting to see Dorian pulling that stuff off, who they are very high on. They like him a lot, but this is the stuff Deshaun is very comfortable executing as well, and you feel pretty good about it. And there's a good example too. If we watched it, you saw the left guard is kind of drifting downfield. They'll clean that up, but that's the part of, like, just again, bunch of reps, bunch of practice. Know that you can't work downfield. Those guys almost have to work as basketball players setting picks. You can't work downfield. You can't move your body too much, but you're just rotating and turning and then making it difficult. Kind of, if they do give it off to the running back there, he can just kind of use your body shield as a way to find a run lane. So just, again, exciting and encouraging stuff about what they could be. And I do expect them to implement less what I would call just basic RPO stuff and more like next level. Those are multi-field, like multi-level reads happening on that play, and pairing it with a run look, the way you have that wide receiver kind of creeping in, you're pointing at him. That's tough for defenses. And I would say the way I would phrase it is the defenses played the Browns offense last year on their toes. They were not afraid of what they were doing. They did not feel like they were, sort of like, I guess the word is waffling between, is it a run? Is it a pass? What is this play action? Like, they got very comfortable with how the Browns run offense and doing more things like we just saw, where you're really putting them in a blender in terms of playing the run or jumping into their pass coverage looks. That's where you can create windows to make explosive plays happen. In the modern NFL, explosive plays drive the engine. You got to create those 20-plus plays, and you got to make throws like you just saw.